Good morning. This is WXON, Detroit, Michigan, beginning another day of scheduled telecasting.
Yes, sir, we promised you a great minute here tonight. Andre, the China WrestleMania!
WrestleMania is running wild!
My God, what a run! It's not a world is watching!
Good morning, everybody. It is I, it is he, it is me, P-double-D, Etep Wakuian, from the Place to Be Reviews, right back here with all of you. Friday morning. Happy Friday to you. I hope you're enjoying it thus far, as it's 9:20 Eastern here, as I have a sip of my, I don't know, fifth or sixth cup of coffee. I had a rare evening off last night, so we took the kid, dropped him off at the in-laws, for the weekend, and came home, and the wife's like, I'm just going to go to bed and watch Blue Bloods. I'm like, it's like 9 o'clock. I'm like, I'm going to stay up. I'm going to play video games. So I started to play No Mercy, and I woke up at 1:30 in my chair after one Johnny B. Bad versus Stevie Richards match, and I'm like, this is what happens every time I try to play video games. This is why I never upgraded my systems, because every time I try to play video games, I pass out in my chair, or I feel guilty because I'm not doing something else. Even that late at night, it's like, God, I should be streaming or recording or doing something right now. So I was going to do the morning show at 8:05 this morning, but I woke up, I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. I haven't even eaten yet. Yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Uh-oh, Tina saw the flag. Are you working right now, Tina? If you're not working, you can come on, because I'd really like to hear about it. I'll shoot you a link. Let me know if you're free, because I'm interested. Like I said, I've been making predictions on that movie for a couple months now as far as finances go. And I'm, like I said, I don't think it is going to, I don't think it's going to do as well as they want it to do financially. But I do see the merit in releasing this if they're going to. I'm supposed to be working, but I can take a break. All right, hang on, Tina. Let me shoot you a link. Morning, Gap. Good to see you. Good to see you. He says, "What are you complaining about? Do you have gas? Will you not? Burton put down for a nap?" I'm always complaining, Gap. That's my secret. I'm always tired. Hang on a second. Let me find Tina Bojan here in the DMs. I haven't slid into Tina's DMs in a minute since I sent her a shirt. There you go. Let's see. Link. Paste. Sent. Boom. I am in your DMs, Tina. So yeah, I am interested to hear your take on this. Like I said, because while I'm not, the only issue I really have with this movie is Ezra Miller, and how god awful he is as a human being, and I'm not a fan of his as an actor either. So I'm like I said, I'm not going to see this. Like once it's out, will I watch it? If I can watch it for free, yeah, absolutely. But I'm not going to. I'm not going to spend money on this. And like I said, I wanted to see Blue Beetle because I like Zolo Merdueñez. I really like him as Miguel in Cobra Kai. And oh yeah, big shout out. The Yankees beat the Mets 4-3 last night. Because fuck the Mets. But yeah, I was a Zolo Merdueñez fan. I was very, very, very excited to see him get a leading role. The dude put in work on his physique, which, is another thing because we see the males in the superhero genre always forced to do that. But the women, they never have to really do that, They're like, we'll CG it. Ask Natalie Portman about that with her arms, which, like, when I saw her arms, I'm like, God damn, I'm like, looking good. Because Natalie Portman's pretty, she's hot anyway. But then you throw a little bicep action on her, I'm like, okay, I like this. And then it's like, it's CG, and I'm like, lazy bitch. Lazy. Meanwhile, Chris Hemsworth is, like, taking 20 years off the back end of his life with juice to look like frickin' Thor and Hulk Hogan, and wasn't he one of the Von Erichs, too? I don't know if he was in that movie, too, with MJF or who else was in that, but... yeah. You got a link, Tina, whenever you're ready to jump in. I'm going to wait till somebody puts all them Keaton clips together on YouTube. Right? That's basically the extent of my interest. Is Keaton and how it turns out. There she is. Morning, Tina.
Good morning.
Good to have you on.
Yes. Thanks for inviting me. Oof.
Well, okay, so what overall impression, first impression, what did you think of the movie?
It wasn't horrible, and I give it a C+. It would have been like a C- D+, but to have Keaton back as Batman, I think he did a really good job. And even though a lot of people think some of his lines from the original movie that they revived, like, want to get nuts, let's get nuts. I mean, it was just like total, nerd smile on my hands from, and my face from the old days and stuff.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
That kind of thing. It was cute. And the CGI is horrible. And not just because I only know the Flashpoint based on, how it was in the Arrowverse. So I didn't read the comics, but the arena or the place where they are when he's traveling back in time and seeing all the different, universes. I mean, that was cheesy CGI, but I think it was supposed to look very like alternate reality, kind of strangely viewed. So when you saw the different cameos across time, you were like, okay, that's kind of cool. And but it was just CGI was so bad, especially the opening scene where he's like saving all these babies falling out of a hospital that's collapsing. And like he puts a baby in a microwave.
Chris Gore mentioned that when I was listening to him on Midnight's Edge, and I'm like, why does this sound like something Ezra Miller would really do?
I mean, it's really strange. I mean, because they kind of do that whole, hot dog scene where he's breaking through the window, kind of in one of the previous movies. But he does it where he's like saving these 8 or 10 babies as he pushes one to do this so that it doesn't get hit by, a bunch of surgical, instruments, and he saves and, pushes another baby in another direction so it doesn't, get electrocuted and all this weird stuff. And I guess there's this big flaming canister of oxygen or whatever, and it's about to burn a baby. So he puts the baby in the microwave. So when the flames hit it, the baby doesn't get burned. But I mean, it's so stupid.
Oh God.
And then there's this CGI therapy dog that's, falling 13 stories. And it's just this dopey looking dog with his tongue hanging out of his mouth, just floating down in slow motion. I mean, it was pathetically sad, but but I guess if you laugh at it, then, it's not horrible, but
that sounds terrible. It really does. It sounds absolutely horrible. God, like, okay, let me welcome some folks in here, and then I'm going to give you my thoughts on what you just said. Pika Shades, good 4:25 p.m. from the Finnish time zone. Hail, Pika Shades. Hail, good stuff. Good morning, sir. Welcome, my editor extraordinaire. Albus Rooster Dude Dumbledore, who's responsible for gifting over 50 memberships on the channel. Big shout out to Albus. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Hail, AngelousDraven. Welcome. We'll be over on his channel tonight watching wrestling after Vinny's stream. So this sounds bad. I mean, this sounds like a movie that should have been made 20-some years ago. You know what I mean? Like, it just...
Yeah.
Okay, and Ezra Miller's The Flash, like, is a horrible casting choice. I mean, this guy, even from when they casted him in the original Justice League, it's like, why? Why? He's bad, and I was admittedly, when they said, hey, we're bringing Keaton back, I was like, oh shit, and the more you find out about Ezra Miller, it's like, there goes all of my, will to see this movie in the theater. I don't have it in me, and that's bad considering I sat through Wakanda Forever, The Eternals, Shang-Chi. But no, I'll wait till this comes out and I can watch it for free, or honestly, set sail and watch it. But the Keaton stuff, or like Gap said, somebody will string it together on YouTube, all the Keaton clips.
Probably.
I mean, so how was Michael Shannon Zod in this? Because I know he came back too.
He was fine. I mean, he was a big part of the boss battle at the end, but he wasn't featured very much in person. They talked a lot about how, as Barry's trying to explain to the broken pieces of the Justice League he's trying to put together, that oh, this guy's really bad and this is what he's trying to do. So you only get some posturing from Zod for 5 minutes here and there as they're trying to do other things. But that Sasha Kaye, or however you're supposed to pronounce her last name, she looked banging in that suit, like hot as hell. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like her haircut, but it's definitely a cut I would have picked for myself in the in the early 90s. But I mean, I understand she didn't have the cutesy Supergirl costume on, but I mean, she's stacked. I mean, she's gorgeous.
Yeah, that's the thing with her is, like, I kind of, like, from the images they showed, it really looked like they dumbed her down because she is an absolute smoke show. Beautiful woman. And that was the thing, is like I felt bad like knocking the way she looked, because it's like, it seems like such a, you know, a petty thing to do, and I don't want to come off like that, but it's like, but we've all seen it consistently in the movies, how they take these actresses who are absolutely beautiful, you know, Kelly Marie Tran, and dumb them down to, you know, subvert the male gaze. And it's like, you're doing yourself a disservice, because you're sitting here talking about how beautiful she is, and you're a woman. You know, and it's like, well, this isn't, you know, we don't want men oogling, and it's like, here, you know, you're talking about how hot she is, and it's like, that does, the aesthetics of the characters do play a factor in the watchability of the movie. They do, as much as they want to, you know, say it doesn't or it shouldn't, it does. Take Thunder Force, for example, with Melissa McCarthy, and I can't remember the black actress's name that was, you know, in it. That movie was unwatchable. Absolutely unwatchable. Not just because it was a horrible movie, but because, I mean, nobody's buying Melissa McCarthy. These two, like, I mean, it looks like two King Kong Bundys with wigs on in superhero outfits. And I don't want to body shame, but it's like, you just by comparison. I mean, yeah, and that's another thing Chris Gore said. He goes, she looked hot. He goes, and it's funny, because there's even some like lingering shots of her ass in the movie that you would be like, how did that make it in there? You know, just because of what they do now, how they switch camera angles, and they try to avoid all that. But I don't know. I just really wish they would have put her in more of the Helen Slater type outfit. Just because, just an homage and a nod to that character, because Helen Slater's still looks, I'm pretty sure she still looks like pretty good. I'm going to pull up an image of her, but she was gorgeous. I mean, absolutely. I remember watching that movie as a kid, because I was a big Christopher Reeve Superman fan, and my mom showed me that. She's like, here's Supergirl, and I'm like, you know, as a kid even, you're like, this is making me feel some type of way, you know, and it is. And then you have the cameos in the movie. What did you think of all the cameos, and was there anything that really surprised you that you didn't know about going in?
I think I knew about all of them except for Helen, who was in there with, with Chris Reeves, or Chris Reeve, sorry. And I thought the way that they placed them, they were kind of a little cartoony, because they were in that, kind of time arena or whatever they call it, as he's, looking at the alternate universes. So they made it look kind of sweet that way. So it wasn't as insulting as some people thought it might be to have, the different, Superman actors from, across time. But I had my nerdgasm when I saw Nick Cage. I mean, I totally did. I wanted him to be Superman with Tim Burton directing like you would not believe. So
yeah,
so to see him there, and it was a couple of shots, so it wasn't just a flash and he was there. So so I thought the cameos were decently done. I mean, I know a lot of people were saying that they didn't like the CGI, and you could tell it was a stylistic choice there, where earlier in the movie, especially the opening scene, was just bad CGI. Where here they were trying to pick a style of CGI that like didn't look real. So I kind of forgave them for that. And like I said, I kind of enjoyed the cameos. I thought that Keaton did a great job it's like he picked up Batman all over again. I mean, a lot of people were insulted how Bruce Wayne was introduced, because he's a broken, older man, not needed anymore, because Gotham can take care of itself. It doesn't need a hero, because everything's perfect.
I heard they're like, Gotham is one of the safest cities on Earth now. And I'm like, wait, are we talking about the same Gotham here? Morning Brightest Day, he said, morning Kazooians. That's he's been a channel member for 4 months. Thank you for supporting us, man. Yeah, I heard we were talking about that the other night a little bit. I think yesterday about the Christopher Reeve cameo and how people were kind of up in arms a little bit about them using a CGI version of him in the movie, as if it was in poor taste. I look at that. There's two schools of thought on that. I mean, they did it with Fred Astaire in '97 in a commercial, which the technology wasn't nearly what it is today. But I mean, do I think it is in poor taste? I'm up in the air about it. But at the same time, it's not something I'm going to get upset about. You know what I mean? I'm not overly pissed off. Like, oh, how dare you? I mean. Is it the best thing in the world? Not really, but I mean, I understand why they would because of the cameos they're using in this movie and, the timelines and all that. And to take it back to Nick Cage, I was excited about that one because I'm a Nicolas Cage fan. I have been since I saw Raising Arizona, which came out in 1986 with him and Holly Hunter and John Goodman and the guy from Northern Exposure. I can't think of his name, but Northern Exposure. There's a lost gem. If anybody remembers that show. I used to watch it with my dad. I actually love that, but no. I wanted to see Nicolas Cage as Superman. I did, and just because it's Nicolas Cage and he's so ridiculous and over the top with everything, I just always thought that would be so fun. To see Cage, as the Man of Steel, but
and he had he had the hair like that you see, and when he was trying the suit on in front of Burton in those clips, movie clips. So, yeah, I mean, so it was Nick Cage as he would play Superman. I mean, it was just really kind of cute, but
that's
like I said, I was a teenager all over again, so.
Yeah, and because that was supposed to come out in, I think, 2000, 2001 in that range. Superman Flyby was the working title of it. And, yeah, it was going to be a J.J. Abrams thing. And the writer from that, like I mentioned the other day, went on to write for Wild Wild West with Will Smith and Kevin Kline. I think it is. Is it Kevin Kline that was in that? And that giant metal spider that Nicolas Cage was supposed to fight in the third act made its way into Wild Wild West. I'm like, that guy really had an affinity for the giant metal spider. It's going to fight Superman. You know what? It'll fight Will Smith and Artemis instead. We'll be fine with that. But it was funny seeing Kenneth Branagh in that Wild Wild West movie. And knowing he wrote Thor, I think he wrote Thor: The Dark World or directed it or something, but I don't want to get too much off topic here. Well, it's still kind of superhero-ish, but no. And Will Smith did play a superhero in Hancock, so it's all relative. Which I don't think I've ever watched that movie. I honestly don't think I've ever seen that all the way through.
I liked it as long as you don't take it seriously.
Yeah,
I'm like I thought he had a great performance, and it was a cute storyline. A lot of problems with it, of course, but it was passable.
Because that's him, isn't Jason Bateman in that? I want to say Jason Bateman and wasn't Charlize? Was she? No, I can't remember.
I think it was Charlize Theron that plays the love interest. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought she was in that. Good morning, the Basco scenario. Good to see you. Good morning. Slap that like button. So back to the Flash. Anything? I mean, where do you see this? Any of these characters going? Like Ezra Miller. I mean, there's no way they can move forward with him. There's no way.
I can't see how they can. And in the way that they end it, it would be like, okay, as long as none of these characters, and I'm talking, Momoa as Aquaman, I mean, as long as none of these characters come back, then it's a nice way to just go put it on a shelf going, okay, well, he thought he put the universe back to the way it was. He sort of didn't. now let's leave it all away and walk away from all of these actors as these characters and kind of just let it sit. I don't see how they can really bring back any of the characters, and it didn't kind of come up with a whole. I thought that maybe it might end some way where they could go, okay, now this makes sense. They're going to reboot it as James Gunn's, interpretation, and just leave it at that. But it didn't really end that way. I mean, it ended as if you could have most of the characters come back and play themselves, So I didn't really like that, because then I don't understand how they link one to the other, and maybe they don't intend to, like I said, and they're just going to leave this as is. But I don't see how you bring Ezra Miller back. I mean, I kept thinking throughout the whole 2.5 hours, wow, how much better could this have been if it was Grant Gustin?
Right. That's I've said that all along, is they should have cast Grant Gustin in this role. There's no, the lizards are filing in one by one. Morning Godzillionaire and the Basco scenario, everybody in the chat. I don't. Ezra Miller was never a good Barry Allen. And it's funny because Barry Keoghan, that played in the Eternals, like I said, he looks like the Wish version of Ezra Miller. And you have, like I said, you've got this guy who's just a train wreck of a human being. The guy needs help. In all seriousness, Ezra Miller needs help. He's not right mentally. There's obviously a lot of issues there, which is why they didn't let him do any press or talk to anybody beforehand leading up. And like I said, I haven't seen the movie. I'm not watching it, right? I'm not. I'll wait, like I said, until I can catch it on Max or whatever. And the problem you brought up with bringing any of these characters forward really speaks to the DCU overall, since it's, inception, I would say, with, the advent of the Snyderverse, because the Dark Knight trilogy doesn't play into this at all. Obviously, that would be considered, Elseworlds by their standards now. But I mean, you've still, like you said, you've still got Aquaman coming out, and you've still got Blue Beetle coming out. Blue Beetle's in August, Aquaman in December. I don't see, and those movies are not going to do anything.
Agreed. I mean, obviously there's no tie-in with Blue Beetle. I mean, I don't know if they're going to throw a cameo in there, but I think if they leave it as its own separate entity, then, it might draw, certain ethnic audiences or people who really love the character for whatever reason. But yeah, I don't see how Aquaman follows this and have anybody care. Because the post-credit scene was nothing. It was like, I don't know why they even bothered to have one.
What, you can go ahead. What was it?
Oh, it's just, Ezra's freaked out because, Batman isn't, Bruce Wayne isn't who Bruce Wayne was in his universe. It's a totally different actor. So then he's trying that's the Clooney
I'm sorry,
thing,
is that the Clooney? Okay, that's what Tony was telling me. All right.
Yeah. So he's trying to, Barry's trying to explain to Arthur, hey, listen, I did this thing, and now I come back, and Bruce isn't who Bruce is supposed to be. But Aquaman he's drunk beyond all means and can't carry on this conversation. So they come stumbling out of a bar, and then that's it. So it didn't really carry the plot line on, except to remind everybody, oh, by the way, there's an Aquaman movie coming later this year. And that was pretty much its purpose. It wasn't really related to the movie much. And nobody seemed to take it seriously. A lot of people left the theater beforehand because, the credits completely end. The lights are on in the theater by the time they show that, because it's truly an end credit scene. But there was hardly anybody left in the theater to watch it.
And that's the thing with a lot of these post-credit scenes now. Even your normies will get up and leave because they just think the movie's over. But even with Shazam 2: Fury of the Gods, the post-credit scenes were meaningless. I mean, you're not, like I said, yeah, Zachary Levi's friends with Peter Safran. Like I'm fairly certain they're good friends, but with the performance of that movie, I mean, are you really bringing Zach Levi in? You know,
Right.
And then you've got obviously the Peacemaker like support team. You've got Gunn's wife, who he finds any excuse he can to put his wife in a movie. James Gunn's wife. Because we're aware of his proclivities. Anyway, not to get off on that tangent, but I just this whole we're gonna bring these two movies out after we have our thing that's gonna reset the universe just because we've already shot them and they're finished. I think it's bad. It's like I said, I would have Aquaman is gonna bomb. Yeah, there's no way this one even gets, I would say, maybe half of what the first one did, which is so funny because Aquaman came out in December of 2018. I thought it was 2019. It's 2018.
Oh,
That
wow.
came out. Yeah, that's forever ago. I mean, you're talking almost
5 years, right?
5 years. Yeah, a half a decade. Now that's just like Guardians of the Galaxy 3 though, in part 2.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking a 5-year span in between releases. Jason Momoa is already checked out. He's looking forward to Lobo because that's, his dream role. And I honestly think he fits better as Lobo. Like Jason Momoa is eye candy for women. He's a dude bro, but his acting ability, I think the best role he's ever played was Game of Thrones.
I agree.
Because every other movie, like seeing him in Dune, I was like, this is just Jason Momoa. This isn't Duncan, Idaho. It's not. It was just, after you have Josh Brolin as Gurney Halleck, who Josh Brolin played that role fucking perfectly. And then you have Duncan Idaho, my man, my boy, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, dude, you're just Jason Momoaing this role. You might as well be wearing your Aquaman costume because I thought his action scenes in the movie were good because the guy can do action.
Right.
His fighting sequences look great, but just his acting is just, and he's not Aquaman. That's not what Aquaman looks like. Arthur Miller he was blonde, but hey, they took a minor character and they were like, what can we do with him? Oh, we'll put, the wine moms are going to love him, because theater floors are going to be soaked after this movie. But no, that's what he was. He was eye candy. Yeah. Eye candy. But the movie made $1 billion. And I know that's not a barometer of its, critical success. Financially is one thing. But I think, like I said, Lobo, that's better served for him, but his acting range is so limited. For Marvel Steam, it was DC and I didn't pay for it. This is y'all are marks. I love you, Papa. Momoa's good in Stargate Atlantis. I'm gonna watch the Stargate.
Right. I forgot about him in that. He was good.
I didn't know he was in. I've never seen any of the Stargate stuff, so I'm gonna watch the movie and then I'm gonna start watching the series. Because I heard how good that was, so I'm gonna check that out. Wait, what did Tolvat say? Captain Blue Balls. When the pressure builds, you can count on him to hold it back. God damn it. Is it just me or does Jason Momoa look like he never takes a shower? My wife said he looks greasy and stinky.
Yeah, I'm one of the people that, like, Jason Momoa doesn't impress me. I'm very much a Ben Affleck, George Clooney, traditional, distinguished, good-looking guy kind of person. So, yeah.
See, that's my wife is like that. She's like, yeah, he's got a nice body, but she's like, he's not anything to write home about, honestly. That's what she's more like. She likes Chris Pratt more than because he's more of that like rugged, everyday kind of like man, that you would
Absolutely.
that's
the lumberjack kind of.
Yep. That's what she said. She's like, I'm not a Pratt fan. Morning, instant regret. Hail. Good morning, my brother. Digging the Cubs gear, young lady.
Oh, lifetime Cubby fan. Bleed the blue, man.
That's funny. I made a crack. Well, no, it was a Met. It wasn't the Cubs. It was the Mets because I'm a Yankees fan. I had to make a crack because we beat the Mets yesterday 4-3, which I think it was too close. But hey, we got the W. The Stargate series rocks. I'm in contact with the co-creator in one of the producers. There's 17 Stargate seasons, 3 series, 2 movies. Holy shit! Mm-hmm. So I've got a lot. I've got a lot ahead of me there.
It's so good though. I really enjoyed almost every iteration of Stargate. So.
Wait. Basco says, "Digging the Expos." Oh wait, I'm gonna order a old Montreal Expos hat. I like the default, like defunct. Like I want a Hartford Whalers jersey. Like I'm a jersey collector though. Like I always have been. Like I've never been like a Whalers fan except for Pat Verbeek, which he played for the Red Wings for a little while. Because I'm a Red Wings fan. You know, I've got to hold Lord Stanley's cup in my arms, which is not something a lot of people can say, which is pretty freaking cool. But enough about the sports ball. So Clooney was the Batman in the end credit scene in this. Was there any Val Kilmer? No
Val Kilmer, no Christian Bale. I think those are the only 2 Batmen that weren't there, obviously, besides, Pattinson.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I didn't expect Pattinson to make any appearances in this because, like I said, he's Elseworlds. And sticking with the theme of DC, I have was Affleck was in this, wasn't he?
Yes, he was in it a lot more than I had been led to believe. So he was a good part of the beginning 45 minutes or so.
Nice. I like Ben Affleck as Batman. I think that's the one thing they did right during the Snyder tenure, outside of him and Henry Cavill. Not Cavill's, Superman character, just his casting. But Affleck is my second favorite Batman under Michael Keaton. Adam West, I don't count Adam West because Adam West sits atop Mount Olympus.
Exactly. He's in there too, though, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, they did the same kind of cameo, just like they did for George Reeves and for Christopher Reeve and Helen Slater. So it was nice to see him.
I have a soft spot for the old Batman. I really do. Watching those as a kid, the bang, pow, zap, thwump stuff. I mean, just little spinning bat. I mean, yeah, that is just where it's at. It really is. It just made me smile hearing that Adam West got a nod in this. Did they have Burt Ward as well?
I missed the Adam West one because you're looking all over the place because you don't want to miss a cameo. And thank God I didn't do the IMAX or whatever because I probably would have missed more of them. But Mr. Bojan said he saw Adam West. He said he saw the Burt Ward, and I don't know if we saw Joker, but we heard the laugh from the TV show, the Joker's laugh from the TV show. So
that was Gorshin. Was it Frank Gorshin?
Or is it Cesar Romero?
Cesar Romero, I'm sorry. I always get those two mixed up for some reason. Yeah, Cesar Romero. Yeah. Tolbat says, Michael Keaton as Batman was awesome to me, and Nicholson as the Joker was perfection. Adam West Batman is fun. As a kid, I loved it. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Let's see. George Reeves sold the entire thing for me. I can't believe it. Now, he was the original Superman, correct?
Correct, from the 1950s. Yeah.
Yeah. And they had him in there. Did they colorize him, or was he black and white?
He was black and white. Though there are colorized versions of George Reeves. So now I don't know if they took the original series and colorized it, or it could have been, how some of the series where they came out early enough in the 50s that they were still black and white, and then subsequent seasons were color. So
yeah,
but they did stick to the black and white for him.
That's cool. And those are the things right there that I'm going to probably rewind and frame by frame during the movie, just for those little things. Because go ahead. Sorry.
I was kind of upset when they had the Jay Garrett Flash, except it wasn't the actor that originally played the character in the TV show, the one that plays Barry Allen's father. in the Arrowverse. It wasn't him. It was one of the characters from the Arrowverse. The only Arrowverse character that shows up is one of the Jay Garrick versions from there. It's
Okay.
like I can't remember what his name is. Like
Oh,
Tony Sears something.
yeah, because he was the guy that. Wait, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. God, the Flash TV show used to be good. It really did. It was fun. I started to lose. Like I said, it was around like season 4 where I kind of dipped out, and I was like, man, not everybody needs to have powers. You know, I really liked Danielle Panabaker as Killer Frost in that. I did. I like her, and I didn't hate the actress Candace Patton that plays Iris West. I really like her. I think she is absolutely gorgeous. I just don't like the character. It's like she doesn't need to have powers. Like Iris just doesn't need to have powers.
Great.
It was Zoom who became Black Flash, whom they had as Jay Garrick.
Oh, and Teddy Sears, that's the one that
Teddy
played
Sears.
the Jay Garrick version in the cameo section.
All right.
So he plays Zoom in the Arrowverse.
Okay. All right. Morning, Bruce Lombardo of Dick's Division. He says, morning radio. Hail, brother Etep and sister Trina. Good morning, Bruce. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you in the chat, my man. Question, if Earth's sun makes Superman a demigod, what would Krypton's sun do for a human? I don't know. Weigh in the chat, everybody. I'm kind of curious to see what you guys' opinion of this is. I mean, do you think it would give a human powers? I don't know. Or would it just melt them? I have no idea.
I do know that now, granted, obviously, the Arrowverse isn't the best of, as far as sticking to canon, but I do remember that when Superman and when Lois is going to give birth, they go back to the new version of Krypton. And they have to do something to make sure that Lois doesn't get injured by the new Kryptonian sun. So.
Yeah, see, that's what J-Man said. We would probably die under a red sun or mutate, maybe. Bruce says, could it be death from a certain radiation deficiency? Yeah, that's that kind of tracks, I think. Red sun would do to us what it did when day breaks. Yeah, I think these guys are onto something. But I brought up Ben Affleck a minute ago because I came across this article this morning, and it says Ben Affleck says his time as Batman was over too soon, and fans agree. I can agree with that. I can agree with that. I really, BVS was so disappointing.
Agreed.
It was so disappointing in so many ways. I really was hoping that he would get an actual true solo Batman movie, which he never did. All right. Have a good day, J-Man. J-Man's not an Affleck fan. I do. I think he was a great Bruce Wayne, and when he was in shape for the role, he looked great in the suit. When he came back for the reshoots, obviously, little overweight, but yeah, this is, yeah, I wish they would have kept him in the role, because you I don't know, Robert Pattinson, while I did enjoy the Batman, I gave that a 7. I was a 7 to a 7.5 out of 10. Both Vinny and I were on that one, pretty much in sync on that when we reviewed it. I didn't find it particularly woke or offensive. Even with the Catwoman thing with Zoe Kravitz, I just didn't. But Robert Pattinson, I don't know. Where are you at with Robert Pattinson compared to Affleck? I mean, there's really no comparison, but I want your thoughts on it too.
Well, I have to admit, I didn't see the movie, but any of the clips that I've seen, I don't think that he compares in any way, shape, or form. But I can see how if you're looking at it from the same way that you look at the Joker movie, that it's like, okay, it's its own thing. Then I can say, okay, like almost like when you're walking through a museum and go, okay, I get it. It's not my style, but okay.
Yeah. See, and most of the action scenes we got were all stunt men, you know, and I know that's a lot of the case in a lot of movies, which there are some actors that will do their own fighting scenes because they want the authenticity there, which I respect and appreciate an actor putting that amount of dedication in and risking an injury, you know. Because let's face it, there's not a lot of these people that can do full-on fight sequences like that. They can't. And the ones that do, it's like I respect that. Robert Pattinson is, you know, I remember in the lead up to the release of that, he was, you know, not getting in shape, not training. And, you know, there was the rumors about him and Zoe Kravitz on the hood of the Batmobile on the set and all this. I'm like, not really taking this seriously. You know, I mean,
exactly.
Look, if you're gonna nail your co-lead, just do it in your trailer like they have through time, you know. Don't you know, on the hood of the Batmobile. I mean, well, you know, if you want to check that one off your bucket list, I mean, look, who could blame you? But I mean, I don't know. I just all seriousness though, I don't buy Pattinson comparatively to Affleck or even Christian Bale, who's not a physically imposing guy, you know, either. He's relatively thin compared to Affleck. You know, Bale, while he has been cut up in some movies, he's never been like massive or imposing. Whereas Ben Affleck can carry much more mass and size on his frame than Bale does or can. In my, you know, without PEDs or anything. But no, I really wish we would have gotten a full-on solo Batman movie with Ben Affleck so we could have that basis of comparison. I mean, you know, you got 3 with Bale, you got 2 with Keaton, 1 with Clooney, 1 with Kilmer. You got Pattinson, and then Affleck was in a team-up movie, you know, twice.
Exactly.
So, well, he had... yeah, well, no, he wasn't. He didn't make any cameos in Aquaman. It was just, I don't think. I can't remember. I don't think he did. It was just maybe a post-credit scene or something. I don't know. I can't fucking remember Aquaman barely.
Yeah, I think Bruce approaches Arthur in a bar or something at some point, and that's about it. Yeah.
Yep. It was kind of a nothing burger, especially if you look back at it now. But no, I really It is. It's a shame that we didn't get more Batfleck, as it were. Let's see what Pika Shades say. I would say Batfleck and Battinson are the same, or that Battinson will grow up to become like Batfleck. A lonely place for dying is pretty much stable in Batman's career timeline. Okay. Like I said, I'm not a big comic reader. I have to go today to buy a few books in this series that Trey's reading. It's called Wings of Fire. It's like a dragon. It's kind of like a graphic novel series. He loves them. He's read the first 6 books. So I've been either ordering them on Amazon or I'll pick them up at Walmart, and I'm going to go in there today and grab them like 3 or 4 because I am, like I said, I'm basically like the male equivalent of like a tiger mom. I have him doing school. I have him doing school for like 3 hours every day during his summer vacation.
That is fantastic and so smart.
Yep. You know, he's going into 3rd grade. He has a tougher teacher next year. So, and I know her. She's like fire and brimstone, old school Catholic school teacher. I mean, to the point where when I'm subbing, if my class acts up, she walks in and they shut it down right away. I've told her multiple times, I'm like, I'm terrified of you. She laughs. I'm like, she goes, no, I'm just kidding. You know, she's honestly a sweetheart. But no, I have him doing, you know, he writes I give him spelling words. I got 3 workbooks. He loves writing in cursive, so I got him a cursive one. I got like art packs so we can do art projects and science stuff. Yeah, so it's like cool. I have him doing that. You know, when we go on our walks with the dog, I quiz him on his spelling words. And then, you know, I give him a spelling test every Thursday, which yesterday he got 90. So, which I didn't want to shame him for getting 90, but he finished the last quarter and a half of the school year with 100s on his spelling test. The last, like I said, it was I can't remember how many. Yeah, it was like the last quarter though, so it was like just over 12
fantastic.
weeks. Yeah, but I hammer that into him. He had one test he didn't study for it. He got like a 60%. So I was like, we're not going to do that again, are we? No, Dad. So yeah,
that's awesome.
but yeah, I do. And we took him up to the cabin with Nana and Papa for the weekend. We're going kayaking tomorrow. I told him, I said, you get the weekend off. No work this weekend. He was like, thank you, Daddy. I'm like, you're welcome, bud. You got to let him be a kid too, but it's like you don't want him to backslide at all,
Exactly. And I honestly feel sorry for teachers at the beginning of the year. It's got to be so, because I know what it was like for me, just getting to the fourth or fifth chapter of a concept when I was teaching undergrad, intro to computer science. I'm like, dudes, we did this like 3 weeks ago. Come on, get with the plan. And these are, 17, 18-year-olds I was teaching. So I can only imagine what it's like with elementary school and how you almost feel like you're doing the whole last quarter all over again in the fall.
Oh yeah, because not a lot of parents do that kind of stuff. They're just like, oh, you're off school, I don't have to worry about it. And it's like, that's public school though. That's why he goes to a private school. It's like, I'll spend the extra money to get you a little bit better education, give you a better, head start on. And then I have to worry about finding him a private high school to go to, which is, I don't want to think about that. He's only going into third grade.
And you never know with the way some schools come and go. You might find something you love now, and then school might not be there in 3 years. So,
right, that's the problem. But let's take a look over here. I have another one here. This is funny. Not really funny, but sad. Thousands of California cops could lose their badges under a new law. And it cracks down on misconduct. All right, this is introduced by Gavin Newsom, so there's not. It says they can strip officers of their certification for serious misconduct, excessive force, intimidating witnesses, or joining a law enforcement gang. Okay, California, why aren't you worried about actual crime? I mean, yeah, police misconduct is an issue, but I mean, in a state that allows shoplifting and you might want to reconsider getting rid of cops. It's always these states like this that have, they've got all these issues, and then they're like, well, it was like during the Summer of Love, we're gonna defund the police while our city's on fire. And then they turn around and say, well, that never happened. Our city, there was no fires. Our city wasn't on fire. As you look through Minneapolis, it looks like Mogadishu.
Exactly. Hey, the village that I live in benefited greatly as a result of the defund the police, because we're in a red county and we got some absolutely incredible former Chicago cops are now in our little village police because they had to get the hell out of the city just like everybody else does or wants to. And so now they're working for little old Roselle, and my son, who's very involved in the police department, he said that the stories that these guys were telling him are just atrocious.
Oh yeah, you see it on the news all the time. I'm sorry, go ahead, Tina.
I was gonna say there was one instance where the officer rolls up on a scene, and this kid's been shot. I mean, his brains are on the asphalt, and then you've got like 100 people from the neighborhood, save him. So he's like kind of faking the rescue breathing and all of that, going, what do I do? Are they going to kill me if I don't look like I'm trying to save this person who's obviously gone?
Yeah.
So it's very sad.
It is, and we talk about the gun violence issue from time to time here, and it's like you say, well, we need to ban this and ban that, and I'm like, well, it's not people like me that are the problem. My weapons are stored safely and only fired at a target range. That's the thing is, like, when I buy a new firearm, I'll buy it under the pretense that it's only going to be used at a target range, unless, God forbid, you know, and punishing people like us, legal and responsible firearm owners, isn't doing anybody any great service, because then the criminals are going to have guns, and it's like, well, how are you going to stop that? Well, we're not. We're going to punish you. Okay.
Yeah. Well, all three of the men in my family carry, you know, which in a blue state, it's you go through a lot in order to get that privilege, and but with all of the scenes that you hear about the people being charged with murder, or even these poor guys that are just, you know, saving old ladies in subways and are still being charged with murder. You know, my husband's multiple times has said, you know what, I don't think I would risk it to save someone else. He's like, if someone in my family needed me to, you know, to pull my weapon in order to, you know, prevent tragedy, I would do it, but I'm not sure I would do it for anybody else because of the possibility of being charged.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, look at the Jordan Neely case right now. The former Marines being indicted for taking out a guy who punched a 60-plus-year-old woman in the face, severely injuring her, has a rap sheet that's a mile long, and yet he's looked at as the victim here. That's bizarro justice. It truly is, you know. And the same thing happened to the bodega owner that took out the guy in Vegas at the vape store, or no, it was a vape store. You know, same thing. You can't charge people with that. You're defending your life. I mean, I know that. Property. I love that too when you see that from the other side. Well, that means you value your property over someone else's life. You're goddamn right I do, because you're infringing on my private property for the purposes of taking it. I'm not going to let you do that. Sorry. You know, that I say this, and I tell my son this too. I was like, I'll never let anything happen to you. I said, if it comes down to me or somebody else, it's always going to be them. It's never going to be you. It's never going to be me. I said that until my last breath. It'll never be you, you know. And they just want you to roll over and let people walk on you now. I mean, that's like the shoplifting thing. It's such a comedy. It's a tragic comedy. It's like you can just let these people, and they wonder why. Was it Chicago and Portland? Walmarts are like, we're gone. Exactly. We're gone. And you see them locking up certain merchandise. Certain merchandise for certain folks, and that's racist. It's like, no. If you look at our corporate shrink, these products are stolen more than any other product, which means we have to protect our financial fucking well-being and lock these up, because it's obvious that leaving them unlocked is damaging our bottom line. That's not racism.
I saw footage of a Target in California, and I can't remember whether it was San Francisco or not, where all merchandise was behind glass. Like, I'm not sure the point of actually walking through the store was. Because everything, from the food to the, you know, staples to everything. It was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, and it's like that's the kind of world that we're living in now. That's the kind of world that we're living in. That's what kind of policies we have that have, you know, made this a reality. And I never in my life, like, ever thought I would live in a world where you walk into a store and literally just take things, and there's no reprisal, there's no repercussions. It's just, well, I mean, let's face it, for me there would be. It wouldn't quite play out the way it does for some other folks if they're, you know. But I mean, I don't have a seat at the table of the victim hierarchy. You know, I don't. I'm not on that podium at all. And that's the if I had a kazoo, I would protest with my kazoo. I'll have to send you a kazoo then. I'll have to send you a kazoo. Just DM me your address. I'll send you a kazoo and a trading card. But yeah, I hate having to slowly tell my son that this is the kind of world that you live in, because he's just so innocent. And it's like, that's what bothers me most, is this is damaging to children because you're robbing them of their innocence from such an early age by making them live in a world like this. It's not fair. It's not.
Agreed.
Kids need to be able to be
Agreed.
kids, you know. I mean, yeah, it bothers me as a parent and somebody who, you know, is a part-time teacher. It bothers me. Yeah, you know, to the point where we're putting, you know, vending machines for needles in Philadelphia so people can, you know, inject their drugs safely. And it's like, what? What? Nah.
I mean, if they don't inject their drugs safely, isn't that like a self-cleaning problem or self-correcting problem?
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's letting nature take its course. And, you know, it's like Papa always says, Papa Cotton, take the warning labels off everything for about 5 years and nature will take its course.
Yep.
I would love that, because I think we would have about 1,000,001 more Gorilla Glue incidents. Tide Pod consumption would go up. You know, we'd have more TikTok challenges of people licking toilet seats in airplanes and drinking bleach. You know, the fun stuff.
Exactly. Hair dryers in the bathtub and all that.
Yeah. Somebody reenacting the brave little toaster and trying to take a bath with it, you know.
Exactly. Well, I hate to leave you, dear, but I should probably go
It's
back
okay.
to work.
All right.
But
Thank you for
having
jumping
me on. Oh, it was
Absolutely.
great. It was lots of fun.
We got to do this more often, and I've been meaning to bring you back on. I'm glad you'll be able to join this morning for a little while. Thank you, Tina.
Awesome. All right. Well, you guys all take care, and I'll be listening in the background.
Have a great day.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye. And now you guys are just stuck with my ugly mug for a little while longer. Hail, brutal Morningwood. What's going on? Welcome. Nature finds a way. Papa's is damn straight. That's right, man. I honestly believe that we should just remove, like you said, remove the warning labels and let nature just work it out, because it will find a way, and we would be much better off as a species for it, I believe. But yeah, I don't want to go too much longer, as I have videos to shoot. I've got footage to shoot for Rookie Critics film, The Fat Speedster, as I am I'm in that, so I gotta move the green screen around and move the camera, and go shave the dome and get cleaned up and put a suit on for this role. Yeah, I gotta suit up. So I will let me thank this amazing chat here who we've had on this morning. And big thanks to Tina Bojan for jumping on. She was first in the chat. And when she said she saw the flash last night, I'm like, okay, we're gonna have you come on. Gap After Dark, thank you for posting links and being an awesome mod. Pika Shades, my editor extraordinaire, Goodstuff. Check his channel out. He is hilarious, does some amazing shorts. Albus Rooster Dude Dumbledore, thank you for being here, and the gift memberships to everybody. Thank you so much. AngelousDraven will be over on his channel tonight around 8 o'clock after Vinny's stream. Keymon Bell, Tollbat, the Basco Scenario. Thank you. Godzillionaire was here as well. Let's see who else we had as we're scrolling through. Papa Cotton, Instant Regret. Let's see. J-Man, thank you for stopping by. Bruce Lombardo of Dick's Division. Yeah, thank you. Brutal Morningwood, as I said before. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you guys and gals. All 71 channel members. If you're a channel member, go back and check out the stream from Tuesday night. I know it's 3 hours long, but it's all killer, no filler, talking about the extraterrestrial stuff with Nelson, Vinny, and Tony. Yeah, I will be on. All right, I should be on Vinny's stream at 5. I got some trees to cut up before then too. Draven stream tonight at 7 or 8. Tomorrow, Saturday night's main event at 10:15 or 10:05 Eastern PM. Because we are watching the premiere edition of AEW Collision tomorrow at 8 Eastern on AngelousDraven's channel. After Saturday's main event, we'll be back over on Draven's channel playing Mario Kart. Sunday, I will be on Beelzehub with Devil Made Me Do It talking Hara, and should be on Vinny's stream Sunday night. So that'll round out the weekend, and then we do it all over again next week, but more videos will be released too. So thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate you guys and gals. And again, big thanks to Tina Bojan for being here this morning. Yeah, that's it, everybody. Thank you so much. I am Etep Wakuian from The Place to Be Reviews. Been here with all you. If I don't see you, have a great day, a pleasant tomorrow, and I'll catch you on the next one.
It's better to burn out than to fade away.
I could do this all